they care about one another. This is one explanation. Second explanation about why Menashe and Ephraim and not all the others, it's beautiful too. Where were Menashe and Ephraim raised?
In Egypt.
In Egypt.
Oh.
They were not in Eretz Israel. They were not next to Yitzchak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu. They didn't get spirituality. They didn't get Judaism. They were by the Egyptians. What is Egypt? Egypt is the most tum'ah, is the most evil or dirty place that could be. And even living in Egypt, they were able to maintain their Judaism. They were religious. They were fearing Hashem. Even though living in Egypt, their father was second to the king. So imagine to yourself, he needs to be in the palace all the time. He needs to see all kind of officials. They need to go. There's parties, there's events, ambassadors are coming. There's all kind of politicians and political events and all kind of events over there. And they have to be present in there. And even though they live in there, they're exposed to the Egyptian culture, okay? They're still very religious. They're still respecting Torah very much. They're still respecting spirituality very much. They're fearing of Hashem. And this is what Yaakov liked. He said the fact that your children lived in Mitzrayim and maintained and stayed Jewish and religious, for me, this is the best education that you could give to your children. Because as long as the kids are next to their father, next to the mother, next to the parents, they do whatever they ask them to do. What is the test of children? How we test the education of the children? When they're not next to their parents. When they're all alone. When they're alone in a foreign country. Do you keep Shabbat? Do you go to synagogue? Do you put tefillin every day? Do you keep tzniut? Do you keep tradition the way your parents used to do? This is when we know that the parents implemented, their inheritance, their tradition, and it goes back to the next generation. This is what Yaakov liked so much by Menashe and Ephraim. There's so many else to speak.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Now the generation is very hard.
Of course, we
Back
live in
then-
America, it's the same. America of today, when we're exposed so much to the internet, to the Facebook,
TV, everything.
to TV,
Crazy.
to all these social networks, kids from young age, and they don't have to be out there, it's very cold now, kids are not outside. They are inside the house and they're exposed to everything out there. It's even more dangerous than used to be back in Egypt at those days. So America of today is a very wealthy country, like think about Egypt of those days. And Paro didn't really limit them in anything. He allowed them to go, to come, to enjoy, to participate. And this is how we're living here in America too. So your obligation as parents is to inherit your children, okay, as much as spiritualism as you can. Because what's going to how would you know if they stay, faithful Jewish people, if they will build the house the same like you build the house? If their Leil Shabbat is going to be exactly like yours, same salad, same fish, same guest, same Zvirot Shabbat, same Shalom Aleichem, same Kiddush. This is when I did something. I taught my kids. My kids, got for me something, So this is the beauty of Menashe and Ephraim. I wrote so many things here about Menashe and Ephraim. Yeah. Admor Mitulena, one of the Admorim, says that Menashe and Ephraim is two different aspects in life. When Menashe was born, why did Yosef give him this type of name, Menashe? It says, Ki nashani Hashem mikol amalim mikol oni. It was so hard for me, the fact that I was not only abandoned, I was sold by my brothers. I was taken from my father's house. My father, I learned there so much. I felt it was so good over there and everything. And I had to be thrown away, to be all alone. He gives his name, this kind of a name, Menashe. I remember all the sorrows. I remember all the problems, all the troubles, all the bad stuff that I went through. But Ephraim, ki Ifrani Elokim, even though it was hard, even though I am in a foreign language, in a foreign land, Ifrani Mishon Pirya V'Rivya, it's like Hashem blessed me. I was able to multiply, to have kids, to have good days in my life too, not only bad days. And this is two different aspects in life. Do you concentrate on the bad things that happened to you in the past, or do you concentrate on the good things, to see good even in the bad? Yaakov tells him, I prefer Ephraim. I prefer seeing good in life, seeing the lights in the darkness, because everyone goes through tough life, through difficult tests in life. It's not easy. Everyone goes through all kinds of difficulties. Concentrate on the good. Be positive, think good, which is so important. And this is something that Yaakov teaches us over here. There was this father that had 3 boys, and he was old already, and he was about to pass away, he was about to die. So he called his kids, and he told them, please come. He tells to the old one, go and fetch me, bring me a branch from a tree. Bring me a branch. He brings him a branch. He tells him, break it. Can you break it? Sure, he took the branch, he broke it, no problem. It wasn't hard at all. Fine, now go and bring me 2 branches. He goes, he brings 2 branches. Break them for me. He breaks them. 2 branches together in one shot is kind of harder than to break one, but he was able to do it. He had to add some force, but he was able to do it. He broke it, he gives it to his father. Now his father tells him, bring me 3 branches. He goes to bring 3 branches, and the father tells him, break them together in one shot. Now he tries. Very hard to break 3 branches in one shot. This is what he asked the second son to do as well, and the third one to do as well. And what was the message he was trying to teach his children?
The united you are, the stronger
When
you are.
When you are alone, okay, is the easiest thing. You can break so fast. When somebody is alone in a test, when he doesn't have people to support him, family, friends, it's the easiest to break him. It's hard. When you're 2, okay, when you're 2 people, it's possible to break, but you really need to add some force into it. It's not that easy. But when you're 3, when you're 3 kids, okay, if you stay together, nothing can break you. Nothing can happen to you. No one can break you. No one can put you down, because you're always, protecting one another, right? You're always for one another. This is the message that Yaakov was trying to give his children, and we learn it too. Whenever we're together, no one can break us. Whenever we separated, I don't care about him, he doesn't care about him, this is when all kind of enemies can come and all kind of troubles. This is when they can separate us.
So we need a minimum of 3 kids?
Huh?
We need a minimum of 3 kids?
Minimum of 3 kids. And
Yeah.
and the right education. Tell them, continue putting into their mind that brotherhood is the most important thing. Okay? That being together, caring for one another is the most important thing, because whenever we're together, no one can break us.
I have a question. I'm looking at all these religious people. They have 10, 8, 12, 13 kids. And those kids are more educated than those people that have 2 or 3. How come? Like, what's
More
the magic?
educated?
Not educated, more behaved. like not educated,
Discipline. Well
more
behaved.
well behaved,
Disciplined and-
listening.
This week, a woman in Israel gave
Heard.
birth her
Her
20th child.
Oh my God.
It's on Facebook.
How old is she?
Her 20th child. I didn't
Probably
check.
50.
And they say the midwife that took care of her labor.
Twins she gave birth?
Once she had twins.
She had twins one time.
And so the midwife that took care of her, she said that she was so excited, like it was her first one. This is the beauty.
She spent 14 years of her life being pregnant. It said. Imagine.
20 рожали, а у меня свекровка 20 родила.
How you give birth 20 times?
5.
So,
тогда умирали,
Функции.
а эти все живые же живут.
Basia, to your question, when we give to our children and give and give and give and give and give, kids, they don't appreciate it because they get so
Плохо, да, для
much.
женщины это.
They don't appreciate it. But in a big families, naturally, you cannot really give so much. They cannot get one room, individual one room to each one because you cannot have. It's a lot of kids. So they have to share a room, 3, 4 kids sometimes in one bedroom. When kids learn how to share, when kids learn how to live with one another, this is how, one of the things that you discipline. Because you tell them, you show them that they don't have to get everything in the world. And if they miss something, it's not the end of the world. When we were young, we didn't get everything. And we grew up to be happy and healthy and everything is okay. When you give everything to the child, who says it's good for him? Right? So many times, in very blessed families, whenever they have a lot of kids, the kids are educated, they're disciplined, like you say, they're behaving, because there's no other way. There's no other way. They learn how to share. This is beautiful.
So we should bring more kids?
Bezrat Hashem, if Hashem gives you the blessing,
Я не думаю, it's Ashkenazi who gave birth.
if Hashem gives you the blessing, I think she's Ashkenaz.
Доти, наверное.
In this parasha, let's conclude. In this parasha, the children of Yaakov standing next to his bed, and Yaakov, is debating. Everyone is united. Is everything is okay with my kids? Just before he dies, and the kids assured him, "Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We have no doubts. Hashem is above us. Don't worry." And this is how the parasha, how the book ends. Bezrat Hashem. Let's learn how to be united, how to feel, how to get connected, how to care for one another. And Bezrat Hashem, we won't need to fast. And Mashiach is going to come and unite us all to go to Yerushalayim. Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay. Questions? Okay. Yes, thank you.